What if I told you that not every astronaut who went to space came back the way history claims? Some missions ended in silence, some transmissions cut off mid-sentence, and some astronauts, officially, never existed at all. For decades, space agencies have celebrated heroism, triumph, and discovery. But buried beneath those success stories are disturbing space mysteries. Cases of astronauts who disappeared, missions that went wrong, and questions that still have no clear answers. Tonight, we're exploring the most chilling mysteries of space exploration, stories that NASA, the Soviet space program, and governments around the world rarely talk about. These are not science fiction. These are real missions, real people, and real unanswered questions. Stay until the end, because the final story may completely change how you see space travel forever. Space exploration has always pushed humanity to its limits. From the Apollo missions to the Cold War space race, astronauts risked everything to reach the unknown. But alongside the achievements are dark, unsettling cases. Astronauts who vanished from official records, missions erased from history, final transmissions that were never explained. Some were accidents, some were cover-ups, and some, maybe something else entirely. Let's begin. Case 1. The Lost Cosmonauts. The Soviet Space Mystery. Before Neil Armstrong ever set foot on the moon, the Soviet Union was locked in a brutal race to conquer space. But according to multiple historians and leaked recordings, the USSR may have sent astronauts into space who never returned, and then erased them from history. The cosmonauts who never existed. During the 1950s and early 1960s, the Soviet space program operated in extreme secrecy. Failures were classified, deaths were hidden. Italian radio operators, known as the Giudica Cordiglia brothers, claimed they intercepted distress signals from Soviet spacecraft, including a man suffocating as oxygen failed, a woman crying as her capsule burned during re-entry, a heartbeat slowing, then stopping. None of these missions were officially acknowledged. No names, no funerals, no records. To this day, historians still debate. Were these transmissions real, or was history rewritten to protect national pride? Case 2. Vladimir Kamarov, the astronaut sent to die. Vladimir Kamarov was not lost in space, but his death may be one of the most tragic and preventable in space exploration history. A doomed mission from the start. In 1967, Kamarov was launched aboard Soyuz 1, a spacecraft riddled with known flaws. Engineers warned the Soviet government, this ship is not safe, but political pressure demanded a launch. During re-entry, everything failed. Parachutes didn't deploy, backup systems malfunctioned. The capsule slammed into Earth at full speed. According to declassified transcripts, Kamarov screamed in rage during his final moments, knowing he had been sacrificed for propaganda. His death wasn't an accident. It was a decision. Case 3. Apollo 1, NASA's silent tragedy. NASA is often associated with transparency, but even the American space program has its shadows. In 1967, during a routine ground test, Apollo 1 caught fire. Inside were astronauts, Gus Grissom, Ed White, Roger Chaffee. They never stood a chance. Why this case still haunts NASA? The cabin was filled with pure oxygen. The hatch opened inward. Within seconds, the astronauts were trapped. NASA initially tried to downplay responsibility, but later investigations revealed design negligence. Apollo 1 didn't disappear in space, but it disappeared from public discussion far too quickly. And it raises a haunting question. How many risks were hidden from astronauts in the name of progress? Case 4. Soyuz 11. The crew that died in silence. This is the only mission where humans officially died in space. In 1971, the crew of Soyuz 11 successfully completed a mission aboard the first space station, Salyut 1. But during re-entry, communication suddenly stopped. When recovery teams opened the capsule, all 3 astronauts were dead. The chilling detail. There was no explosion, no crash, no visible damage. The cause? A tiny valve malfunctioned, depressurizing the cabin in seconds. No alarms, no warning, just silence. To this day, the final moments of Soyuz 11 remain one of the most haunting examples of how fragile life is beyond Earth. Case 5. The woman who burned in space. Unconfirmed transmission. One of the most disturbing recordings, allegedly captured by the Italian radio operators, involved a female voice speaking Russian. She described, "It's getting hotter. I see flames. Why don't you answer?" Then the signal vanished. No Soviet mission records confirm a female cosmonaut dying in space at that time. But critics ask, why would multiple independent listeners report the same transmission? Was this a fabrication or evidence of a mission erased from history? Case 6. Astronauts who came back, but were never the same. Not all mysteries involve death. Some astronauts returned, but reported unexplainable experiences. Lost time. Strange lights following their craft equipment responding incorrectly. NASA often attributed these to stress or hallucination. But several astronauts, trained, disciplined professionals, stood by their experiences until death. The question remains, is space simply more hostile or more unknown than we're willing to admit? Why these stories matter? At this point, you might be wondering, why don't we hear about these stories more often? Because space exploration is not just science. It's politics, money, and national identity. Failures damage trust. Mysteries raise fear. And unanswered questions don't fit clean headlines. But ignoring them doesn't erase them. The big question, are there more astronauts we don't know about? Even today, space agencies operate with classified missions. Private companies now launch humans beyond Earth. And as humanity pushes deeper into space, the risks grow. If something goes wrong, who decides what the public is allowed to know? Space is beautiful, but it is also unforgiving. Every astronaut who leaves Earth accepts a risk few of us truly understand. Some became legends, some became footnotes, and some may have disappeared entirely. So here's my question to you. Do you believe all space missions have been fully revealed to the public? Or do you think some astronauts were erased to protect powerful institutions? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more true space mysteries, hidden history, and stories science textbooks don't talk about, make sure to subscribe, because the universe still has secrets, and not all of them are light years away.